Going to try to do a short and quick review of the Greencig G300. Tried before and kind of wound up, got really long. So the G300 is a model that probably some of you have heard of. It's been around since somewhere around 2007, but never really kind of made it into the scene, not really sure why. It's two-piece atomizer integrated with mouthpiece unit, similar to the KR808D1, otherwise known as Vapor King, Nebula, Zeus, and similar to the E9, which is got rebrands of, I think, Bloog, Long Totem, and Smoke 51, and I think Red Dragon. They have an integrated atomizer within the cartridge, and they're pre-filled. So this was purchased from Drew at nhaler.com. Great guy. You know, he's really been a good vendor to deal with, even though, you know, always have some questions on some things, and usually throws in a little bonus. Got some cool new juice to try, but I did purchase the G200 at full price, so I can do a fair review on this. Anyways, the G300 comes in a box that looks like this. It's pretty nicely packaged. I kind of like it. There actually is, I have taken this apart and charged it. Here's a little instruction sheet. Looking inside, you have it as a PCC case, pair of batteries, the charger to plug into the PCC sits in here, and it comes with a pair of its cartridges. Let me go ahead and pull this thing out. I have had these batteries sitting in the charger and was playing with it through the other much longer review. So basically, the PCC is, I really like this thing. I think all of the e-cig manufacturers really need to get on board and make a charging case, right? I don't want to sit on one of these things put together in my car, or, you know, I want something that's relatively sturdy. Has a really cool latch on the PCC. It's actually a magnetic latch. Don't really try to lift it by that. Easiest thing, just stick your finger at the top. Holds one battery and 3 cartridges. The battery is a screw-in. Unfortunately, my 510 PCC, it just drops in and it's spring-loaded, but that's relatively a minor nit on it. Other than that, I really like the PCC. When we put this thing together, these are the shorter batteries for the Greencig. They also make a G220, which is a longer battery. Looking for a KRD, KR for comparison. I've got one. So here is, for comparison, a KR808D1 or Vapor King, what have you. This is the comparison of the short battery on the G300 versus the KR with the longer battery. And you'll notice one thing. Look at the length of the cartridges. One of the issues I've had, I really like these guys when they're working for convenience, because there's no separate atomizer and it's built into the cartridge on the KRs. It is on the G300 and 220 as well. And when the KRs are working well, I really like the idea of the two-piece. It's just convenient, you know, throw a couple cartridges in your pocket, don't worry about a spare atomizer. Unfortunately, experience to date with the KR as well as the E9, even when you cannot taste it, they actually start to burn up inside. Yeah, there's debate on that one, and, you know, some people top them off and say 1 cart for 3 weeks, but just haven't been happy with the quality control there. By comparison, the cartridge on the G300 is fairly unique. You can see the length difference, as I showed earlier. And there is actually a fairly standard looking cartridge sitting inside this, like you'd see on a 510 or similar. It's around that capacity, half a mil or so of fluid, and it has a wick inside that presses against that and goes into a coil. I don't know if we'll have time to show that or not, because I'm trying to be not long-winded. So let's take it for a spin. There is a cutoff on this battery. So there's a 3-second cutoff, which I think at least some of the other two pieces in the E9 and Long Totem V9 did have originally. With an out-of-box cartridge, the cartridges only go up, their high is 15 milligram, and they're rather expensive at $30 for 10 of them, which isn't all that bad compared to what some people get for the KR carts. Yeah, but it is not an inexpensive proposition. I really don't like the cutoff. To be honest, I mean, the size I really like, even with a smaller battery. I do wish the PCC had another battery slot, but it comes down to, you can kind of do a double hit with the stock cartridges out of the box. You kind of have to do a double hit to get much of a throat hit. And then it's not bad. You start to get one. And vapor production is actually fairly decent. There is a little bit of variance between carts. I may just go ahead and throw another one on here. Or actually I could have put it on another battery. Yeah, there we go. So that's just once the cutoff. I must have the one battery charged and the other one not fully. So on a single 3-second cutoff, you can get a little bit of a throat hit with a fully charged battery. And you get some okay vapor production. These guys are pretty consistent. On the cartridges, I've only managed to run one mostly dry, and that was mainly because Drew had thrown one in as a gift when I bought some KR carts from him. And I wanted to rip it apart and see if it was burning like the KR and E9s were. That's when I found out what the internals looked like on this. I really don't like the cutoff, but there is an advantage. You cannot see light through these cartridges because there's the cartridge inside, and the atomizer and a wick going into that cart is right there. You have a straight shot in through the battery end to go ahead and drip. And what is this in front of me? The cart holds around half a mil, as I said. And while you can't really get a syringe or anything in there to actually fill the cart, you can drip through the top. I've gone ahead and basically been dripping with one cartridge and just throwing a couple drops in here and there. I want to see how long they last. You do get a better throat hit when you add your own juice, which I'm using right now, Original Tobacco JC 24 milligram. And that's better. And you do really have a straight shot right onto the coil. So I'm kind of mixed. And the long series, I said, I really don't like the cutoff on this battery. And I still don't. I think if they increased it to 5 seconds or so, it would be really a winner. And how we can tell that, I'm going to throw that Greencig cart onto a KR battery. You have to loosen it just a little bit. It's like you have an adjustable draw. But you can tell you definitely get some better vapor production out of the longer drag, and you start to feel that throat hit more. These carts will also fit on an E9 battery or a U9 USB pass-through, and the behavior is basically identical to the E9, even down the cutoff. So on the pass-through, it's not bad. I'm going to try some KR shorter batteries because they might fit in the PCC, and I'm about to be out of time, but short summary, love the PCC, like the carts, but got to get rid of that battery.